to my channel. My name is Vero, and in today's video I'm setting up my bullet journal spreads for the month of May. Now last month I created a beautiful forest theme that felt really invigorating and fun. I truly believed that I would feel more motivated to get organized and on track with my life, but lo and behold, even my pretty theme couldn't get me going. But I will get into that later. Now something I never do on my channel is show you how I use my bullet journals, so I figured I'd show you a bit of my process today. I typically just do a flip through of my spreads from the previous month so you see what I did, and here is my monthly log. I typically just do a flip through of my spreads. I don't typically go through and show you how I'm using it, but because I'm recording this in April, I figured I would show you how I use it. One thing I added this month in particular was a small color-coded habit tracker to my monthly log. Now, I did this because I only created space to track 4 habits on the next page, and unfortunately for me, that wasn't enough this month. So I used the colors to fill out my calendar with the days I do specific things like wash my hair and clean parts of the house. I also added in the fact that I was going to the coast for a week, a nice little escape from the work life. And now moving on to my habits. As you know, I track yoga and swimming frequently. Yoga is something that never really gets done, and I hope that one day I'm so committed that I do it every day. And actually at the time of recording this at the coast, I have been doing yoga every day for about 4 days, I think. Another thing I was tracking was no sweets. Now that is a bit drastic, and I really meant no sweets at work, but have I stuck to this? No, not really. Not at all. The last habit I added recently was washing my water bottle. I am notoriously bad at doing that, and I even talked about it on Instagram, and I'm both glad that I'm not the only one, but also shocked that we were so many. Washing our water bottle is super important, friends, so let this be your reminder to go and wash your water bottle if you haven't done that in a long time. Here's a quick flip through of my weekly spreads and my review page. Since filming, I have filled out spots, but I realize I tend to use my bullet journal mostly on weekends these days because I'm so busy during the week with work, so I need to change my weekly layouts again, which I will be getting into for May. I may not necessarily reflect it in my videos, or maybe you have felt it, but I've struggled really getting into bullet journaling for maybe the last 6 months or so. It happens occasionally, every couple of months. I go through a period of time where I'm just really not into bullet journaling. I thought last month was the start of a new era of enjoying it because the design was so pleasing and I really enjoyed using it. Sadly, I realized that just because it's pretty doesn't mean I'll use it more. So this month I'm stripping things down and creating a very minimal and fast bullet journal spread. I wanted to go for something where you only need a black pen, but of course the pressures of creating a piece of art got to me and I ended up coloring some of my spreads. Yeah, I'm rolling my eyes at myself too. As we are getting closer to winter, things are getting colder, and all I want to do is curl up into a ball under my blankets and read a book. It made me think of these little vials with flowers in them, with little parchment paper that you would open next to a little chimney with fire and things like that, so that's kind of what I'm going for. By the way, for this entire spread it only took me about maybe 40-45 minutes to film everything, so it is super fast, and in fact you could just omit all of the decorations altogether, which is what I do closer towards the end, so you'll see. I really liked the only black pen for my cover page, so if you feel like copying, definitely don't feel pressured to color it in, or do, maybe you prefer the colors. I'm also going to be using some of my Crayola super tips. I haven't used these in so long, and honestly they feel like a small comfort pen because I've had them for years. Is that weird? For the little vials, I'm going for 3 little vials to represent each of the letters of the month, so M, A, and Y, and I'm just going to kind of roughly illustrate them in pencil first, and then I'm going to use a black pen to go over them. Now, I'm not going to aim for any sort of perfection. In fact, I'm actually going to repeat my lines so it kind of has that messy look because I want it to be easy and fast to do. For the flowers inside, I'm really going to just do a very simple stem. The flowers is just going to be like a squiggle because I'm not really going for perfection. I also don't really know how to draw flowers very well. Like sometimes I can pull it off, a lot of the times I can't, but here I'm just going for scribbles and I think it kind of has a charming effect. Then I'm going to draw on a little leaf and I'm going to do another little flower here. This next flower is like, I guess, a little daisy with the little leaves, and I think it's cute. And the thing with this one is that you can color it in, but the pen that I'm currently using smudges every single time that you use like a texter with it, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend coloring it in, even though I actually do that in the end anyway. I'm also including a little parchment roll. Now, unfortunately, because I'm tracing this out with no lines or marks, it's kind of wonky, but that's fine. We're not aiming for any perfection over here, especially not this month. As you can see, I kind of like double lined the lines, so again, going for that messy look, and this is kind of what it looks like at the end. Just going to go go through some of my pens, colour in some of the spots. Anyway, I'm using some calligraphy to write out my title, and I'm reverting back to my good old vertical monthly log this month. I will be doing a video on my favourite monthly logs, or just about monthly logs in general, and this one definitely qualifies as a favourite because it is so simple and fast to do. And since I don't particularly feel like spending a lot of time on my spreads this month, it felt good to have something like this. I also added a small vial with some flowers. Should I have traced it out with a pencil first to make it a bit more aesthetic? Yes. Did I do that? No, not at all. Onto my habit tracker. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I published a video where I showcased all of the different habit trackers I've ever done. It's a great video, and if you're looking for inspiration, definitely go check it out. I've linked it down in the description and in the card over here. Because as I get repetitive with my spreads during specific periods of time, I hope that you can use my habit tracker video as inspiration when you feel like my Plan With Me videos are too much of the same thing during a specific time of the year. Anyway, this habit tracker is a horizontal habit tracker, and unlike April, I have decided to track as many things as possible this month. I feel that tracking my habits in my bullet journal has the potential to get me motivated to do things in my daily life. Now, I don't know if this is actually going to help me, but I really hope it does. I will get back to you on that note in next month's video to see if it actually did help or if it didn't. Now, as I mentioned in my habit video, there's something about coloring a small box when you've completed a daily habit that makes you feel good about yourself, so really crossing my fingers for this to work this month. I've divided my habits into 4 different categories: morning habits, evening habits, weekly habits, and a new one for the 75 hard challenge. If you watched my video on setting up goals for 2023 video, you'll know that this year I really want to try the 75 hard challenge. If you're unfamiliar with that challenge, it's kind of a mental toughness challenge where for 75 days you stick to the same diet, so you drink a lot of water, don't drink alcohol, that kind of thing, and then you read 10 pages of a non-fiction book every single day, you exercise every day. Now, I know myself, and this challenge asks you to do 2 45-minute workouts in one day, every single day. Now, I work too much, and I'm standing on my feet all day, so I do not have time to do 2 45-minute workouts, so I'm compromising and doing 2 30-minute workouts. I think that this is going to work. I hope so. I'm also allowing myself a handful of skip days. Ideally, I won't use them, but I'm doing this challenge to make myself feel good about myself, not upset when I don't get through it. So if I have to skip a couple of days, I will skip a couple of days. So I'm going to start in May and going through to June and a bit of July, but technically I already started doing this a little in April as well. Now, I've set up my horizontal tracker in a way that I can color in a small dot when I do the habit. I'm going to do dots instead of crosses this month because I like coloring in a little dot. And now just a couple of habits that I am tracking if you're curious. For the morning one, I'm going to be making sure that I drink a full bottle of water in the morning, 30 minutes of swimming, 30 minutes of yoga, and making my bed. Now, whether I'll end up doing both yoga and swimming in the morning is an entirely different question, but we'll see. Then in the evening, I have washing my bottle, cooking, cleaning, kitchen, flossing, and using retinol. Now, I started using retinol recently. Yes, it's a TikTok trend. Yes, I'm totally into it because I want my skin to look nice, so we'll see if it works. Then for some of the weekly habits, so this kind of replaces the color code that I had in April. So for washing my hair, vacuuming upstairs, bathroom, cleaning. I also have no spending as a tracker because I'm curious, because I tend to spend a lot of money recently. I've noticed that, so I want to stop doing that too much. Another one that I also want to track is making sure that my screen time is less than 2 hours a day, especially on a weekend or days that I don't work, not including when my phone is set up for filming or for things like that. Then of course we've got the 75 hard challenge. Now the diet is going to be that I'm going to be vegetarian for 75 days. Now look, I'm already vegetarian, or at least I've been properly vegetarian since I got back from Mauritius back at the beginning of March. Not a hard thing for me to do, so I'm hopeful. At least I think that this is going to be one of the easier aspects of the 75 hard challenge, otherwise I think I'm going to be struggling too much. Then I've got the read the non-fiction book, no alcohol, 4 to 5 bottles of water a day. I'm also just going to outline this table because I thought it might look prettier. In hindsight, I don't think I should have outlined it. I think I should have just left it blank, you know, going for that minimal aesthetic kind of thing. But anyway, I highlighted sections and I outlined it, so it's fine. I've separated it by category and then by week so that I can kind of help myself figure out where the weeks go and where to put my circles, etc. I will be using one of the little Crayola super tips to color out my circles. And then of course a little decorative element. So for this one, I just quickly did some of the colors first because I wanted little pink flowers, and then I'm just going to copy the same design. Now drawing this is super easy, just like a really quick little bottle diagram, and then you just scribble on some flowers. I'm also just going to continue dragging out the brown line for the Crayola super tip because I think it made it look a little bit better. Question mark? And then we're going to move on to my master to-do list. Now, I don't really fill out my master to-do list on camera usually because I typically do this when the month is about to start. But as I am filming this now, it is it's the 23rd of April, and I'm already starting to think about May, so I'm going to start writing things out. This can help you in case you have similar goals or similar things that you want to track or get done in the month, so that you can kind of see my thought process. I'm just going to write master to-do list on the top. I'm going to put a column down the middle because I have lots of things that I want to get done this month. Will I get them done? We will see. As you can see, the first iteration of this when I was using the pencil was just have it all across one single page, but that's not enough space, and I think that 2 columns will be good. Now, the first task that I have that's a repetitive task every single month is my work as an Art and Olive ambassador. For that one, I write a blog post, I need to film a video, film a reel, and create a freebie to accompany that blog post. Now, I'm going to be doing spooky nail designs with acrylographs, and if you've been following me on Instagram, you'll see that I've really been enjoying doing my nails, and I've been doing these little reels on Instagram for that specifically, so I'm really excited to do a video on this month. And of course, if you want to read or watch any of the videos that I've done for Art and Olive, you can check their blog by clicking the link down below. I've also listed their YouTube channel down below, so you can check out any of the videos I've done over there. I don't think I've ever publicized the fact that I do have videos and vlogs on that side, so if you want to see more of my work, definitely go check it out. Another thing that I have to do for the month of May is going to be doing my YouTube videos. I mentioned earlier in the year that I'm reducing the number of videos that I do every single month to give myself time for myself, especially because I'm working a lot and I want to do other things with my life and my time at the moment. So the 2 videos that you can expect from me in May is a video on my monthly logs, so every single type of monthly log that I've ever done and their functions and how they help me, and then things that I do for that is like scripting the video, filming the video, and then doing all of the SEO. So if you're unfamiliar with marketing or just online presence in general, SEO stands for search engine optimization, so just making my video as appealing to people as possible. Then the same thing for my June video. I'm going to be doing my June plan with me video. For that one, it's going to be on the 28th of May, hopefully, fingers crossed. And then I'm going to film that video, script the video, take photos for the thumbnail, SEO. For this one, I have added things, which is taking Instagram pictures and making Instagram reels. I'm really not that present on Instagram at the moment. I kind of got a little bit worn out. I'm just not really into it. I do like posting stories behind the scenes in my life, so if you're interested in seeing my life, you can go follow my stories. But posts wise, I'm just really not into Instagram. I don't find that I get a lot of engagement on Instagram anymore. Of course, it's like a double-edged sword because the less you post, the less engagement you have. So every time I post, I don't get as much engagement, and then I'm just like, oh, well, this sucks, I'm not going to continue. But then, it's a vicious cycle. So I'm trying to get back into it, but it is hard. I find Instagram to be a little bit tough sometimes. Some other things that I really want to do this month is to pick up some scuba equipment, which I have bought, and it's been waiting for me to pick up for like months and months and months, so I need to do that. And then also discuss dive master opportunities. And then I also want to plan a road trip with my mum for July/August, because I just want to go on a little road trip with mum, especially before I potentially start a new job. Spoiler alert for my future self and future life. And then on the right hand side of each of the columns, you'll see that I highlight that, and that's just kind of signifying to myself that that's the due date of all of these items. And you'll see that some things don't have a date next to them. That's because I haven't assigned the date yet, and I will get to that as I go through the month. Now, a last thing that I want to do is just kind of show you how I'm going to be using my weekly spreads for the month of May. I'm going to be doing rolling weeklies, going back to that because as I saw in April, I typically use my bullet journal on a weekend. So when I do structured weeklies, I typically don't leave enough space for the weekend, but I have too much space for the weekday. So I'm actually just going to cut out the structured weekly again, go back to a rolling one. I do frequently go between the two. Sometimes I need a bit of structure, and other times I just really need to let go of it. So for this month, I'm going for the rolling weekly. Now, I have a little bit of structure to it, bear with me. I'm going to be using this format. So I just have the date at the top. I have little dots for any to-do list items that I need to do, which would be in a list form. Now for here, I'm just going to put it in pencil and I'll erase it and then put what I actually have to do for Monday the 1st of May. Now I'm assuming that maybe I won't have anything to do for Monday the 1st of May, but I'm just going to write it in so that you can understand what I'm doing. Now underneath this, I'm going to have a small little timeline. It's a horizontal tracker, which you may have seen me use in my best habit tracker video or possibly weekly spread video. I will link the video in the card, and it was a really good weekly spread. Basically, you have what your plan outcome for the day day is. So on the top line for me, the color code, I haven't really written it down anywhere else, but the colors would be, the green is for when I'm going to go swimming, light pink is for when I'm going to be at work, and then the brown can be like VeroBujo things. So like I want to script my monthly log video on the 1st of May around that time. And so like the times that I have, just like an indication of what I'm going to be doing specifically. And then underneath that, I would be able to write some notes on that specific day. What's really cool about this is it allows me to either skip an entire day if I don't feel like using my bullet journal, and it's just really compact, I guess. It gives me more freedom. Now, as you can see, these 2 pages have not a single design on them. No colorful flowers, no nothing. And the reason is because I'm kind of getting sick of the designs, and I think I'm going to split the 2 in June, and I'm going to slowly start phasing out pretty pictures. And I'm just going to paint separately in like a different journal altogether, because as much as I love having pretty colors and everything in my journals, sometimes it just forces creativity, and I don't always vibe with that. So I really just want to like bring it back. So that was my May plan with me. Here's a quick flip through of everything again. Now we have my cover page. You know, I actually really like this cover page. It is really, really pretty. I didn't intend it to be specifically pretty, but I am glad that it turned out that way. Then I have my monthly log. Then you've got my habit tracker, nice and easy with all the things that I can track. And then I've got my master to-do list with all the things that I've started planning. I'm obviously going to be adding more things onto this. And then on the right page, I'm going to be doing my weekly spreads. Now, I have been getting really into Reels shorts. So I think I'm going to keep you updated for the month of May with some shorts here on YouTube and on Instagram. I hope that if you've gotten anything out of this video today, it's that creativity comes and goes. Sometimes you feel like it, sometimes you're not, and that's totally okay. But I will see you in my next video where I talk all about monthly logs very, very soon. But for the moment, if you're looking for some more inspiration, you can check out my video on habit trackers where I go through every single habit tracker I have ever done in my entire life. You can check it out right over here.